Section 1. The Land of the Future. Right, let's talk about Japan. When you think of it, what pops into your head? For me, it's a dazzling montage of bullet trains slicing through the countryside, gleaming cities like Tokyo, and robots serving tea or playing the violin. Japan, for decades, has been our go-to postcard from the future, a place where tomorrow's technology is today's reality. But here's where the story takes a curious turn. Beneath this high-tech surface, there's another Japan. This Japan runs on things many in the West packed away with their old cassette tapes and dial-up modems. Imagine walking into a modern Tokyo office and hearing the screech of a fax machine. This is the great Japanese paradox, a nation that builds the world's most advanced hardware, yet clings to the technology of yesteryear. You might find a robotics company still requiring employees to stamp documents with a personal seal, or a council demanding data on a floppy disk. It's a fascinating contradiction, a country living in two eras at once. Let's try to unravel it. Section 2. When Japan ruled the gadget world. This was Japan's golden age, the 1980s and 90s. If you wanted a piece of the future, you bought something with "Made in Japan" stamped on it. Companies like Sony, Panasonic, and Nintendo weren't just making products, they were shaping global culture. Think about the Sony Walkman. Before it, music was stuck at home. The Walkman changed everything. Suddenly, you could have your own soundtrack anywhere you went. Nintendo invented modern home gaming with the NES, then did it again with the Game Boy, a global phenomenon. Japanese companies dominated TVs, cameras, and audio, mastering miniaturization and manufacturing. The secret? Relentless focus on hardware, monozukuri, the art of making things. Every button had the right click, every product was built to last. The world looked to Japan for what was next, and Japan delivered. But while Japan perfected hardware, a quiet revolution was brewing elsewhere, software and the internet. The very strengths that made Japan a tech titan would soon become hurdles in the new, interconnected digital world. Section 3. The Digital Shift, where things went a bit sideways. The new frontier wasn't about perfect gadgets anymore, it was about software, connectivity, and the internet. Think about the first iPhone. Its magic was the App Store, an open marketplace for software. This is where many Japanese giants lost their footing. Their philosophy of monozukuri led to Galapagos products, highly advanced for Japan but incompatible elsewhere. Japanese phones had mobile internet and TV streaming before the world, but were built on closed systems. When the smartphone wave hit, these incredible phones were washed away. Japanese firms kept everything in-house, missing the open-source software movement. This slowed them down. They tried to build everything from scratch every time. Japan continued to excel at components, but lost leadership in the final products consumers bought. The Walkman was replaced by the iPod, then Spotify. The digital shift had happened, and Japan found itself playing a different role. Section 4. The curious case of the fax machine and the Hanko stamp. The fax machine is the most famous symbol of Japan's digital paradox. In a world of instant messaging, the fax remains a stubborn survivor in Japanese offices. There's a deep belief in the importance of a physical, written document. A fax feels more official and permanent. This attachment to paper brings us to the Hanko, a personal seal used instead of a signature. In business, documents are passed up the chain, each manager stamping their Hanko, a clear, physical trail of approval. How do you integrate a physical stamping process into a digital workflow? It's not easy. The cultural attachment to the Hanko has been a major roadblock to digital signatures. If a process required a Hanko, you had to print, stamp, and fax it, keeping printers and fax machines alive. Until recently, some agencies required data on CDs or even floppy disks. In 2022, Japan's digital minister declared war on floppy disks, highlighting nearly 1,900 government procedures still requiring them. These outdated practices aren't just quirks, they're deeply embedded, creating inefficiency and acting as barriers to digital transformation. So why does a country as brilliant and innovative as Japan cling so tightly to these old ways? A big part of the answer lies in its unique work culture. Japanese business culture values tradition, hierarchy, and avoiding risk. If it isn't broken, don't fix it. Introducing a new digital system is seen as risky. What if it fails? Or older employees can't adapt? Consensus building, or nemawashi, means decisions require long, informal discussions to get everyone on board. Proposing a digital overhaul can take months or years, by which time the technology may already be outdated. Seniority and loyalty are valued over disruptive innovation, so senior management is often less familiar with digital tech. Young employees with new ideas struggle to be heard. The customer service philosophy of Omotenashi favors face-to-face interaction and paper-based communication. Many businesses see physical letters as a sign of respect, reinforcing analog habits. This dedication to process and politeness can slow the transition to digital alternatives. It's a culture that prioritizes process and harmony, sometimes at the expense of speed and efficiency. When you look at the hard data, Japan's digital lag becomes clear. In the 2023 IMD World Digital Competitiveness Ranking, Japan placed 32nd out of 64 countries, behind Malaysia and Estonia. The report highlighted weaknesses in business agility and digital integration. While the US and China have digital giants like Google and Alibaba, Japan has struggled to create a software-based company with similar global reach. The demand for digital skills has outstripped supply. Software engineers in Tokyo earn less than in other major tech hubs. The government sector has been slowest to adapt, with many procedures still requiring paper and hanko. This inefficiency affects citizens and businesses, making government interactions slow and cumbersome. Even at the consumer level, there's a digital divide. While smartphone use is high, Japan is slow to adopt digital payments. Cash is still king. In 2022, cashless payments were just 36% of transactions, compared to over 90% in South Korea. This reliance on cash is another sign of how digital habits have been slow to take root. You can't talk about Japan's digital challenges without talking about its demographics. Japan is a super-aged society, with the world's oldest population. Nearly 1 in 3 people is over 65. While not all older people struggle with tech, digital literacy is lower among the elderly. If services go digital only, a huge portion of the population could be left behind. Banks keep physical branches and passbooks because so many elderly customers rely on them. This means maintaining costly parallel systems, physical for older customers, digital for younger ones. The aging workforce also slows digital adoption. Older workers are less inclined to embrace new tools. Younger employees use modern tools, while older colleagues stick to faxes and paper, creating bottlenecks. But this challenge could become a catalyst for innovation. Japan leads in robotics and AI for the elderly, age tech like smart home devices and social robots. If Japan creates user-friendly digital solutions for seniors, it could set a blueprint for other aging societies. The challenge is immense, but so is the opportunity. For a long time, the Japanese government was part of the problem, not the solution. The COVID-19 pandemic was a wake-up call. Antiquated systems caused delays in relief payments and remote work. The digital lag became a national vulnerability. In 2021, the government launched the Digital Agency, a powerful new body to drag the public sector into the 21st century. Its mission: unify IT systems, promote cloud computing, and eliminate faxes and hanko. One big project is the My Number Card, a digital ID combining social security and tax info. The agency hired private sector tech experts to shake things up. The digital minister declared war on outdated practices, setting clear goals to digitize thousands of procedures. It's a monumental task, but the engine of change has finally been switched on. There have been challenges, privacy concerns, and technical glitches, but the creation of the digital agency marks a turning point. For the first time, there's a coordinated top-down push to close Japan's digital gap. So, where does this leave Japan? It's easy to focus on the fax machines and conclude the country has fallen behind. Japan has a remarkable history of reinventing itself, after the oil shocks, and now perhaps again. The current digital challenge is just the latest chapter in this story of transformation. The foundations for a digital comeback are already there. Japan leads in high-tech manufacturing, robotics, and material science. As the world blends the physical and digital, Japan's hardware expertise could become a massive advantage. The key: combine hardware prowess with a more open, agile software mindset. We're seeing promising signs. Startups in fintech, AI, and healthcare are flourishing. Large corporations are slowly reforming, embracing digital tools, and investing in reskilling. The younger generation recognizes the old ways aren't sustainable. This generational shift is a powerful driver of change. Ultimately, digital transformation is about people, culture, and tradition. Japan's path may be slower, but it will be uniquely Japanese, a blend of tradition and digital future. The future is not yet written, and it could very well still be made in Japan.